Recently, the central government has introduced new system of assessment under the income tax that is called FACELESS assessment scheme. Under this scheme, the taxpayer will not know the assessing officer. Also, the assessing officer will not know the tax assessee, the taxpayer for whom the assessment is being carried on. This scheme was introduced to encourage faceless as well as not able to influence, and not able to the assessment be completed on the free and fair manner, so that both the tax department as well as the tax department gets fair revenue, taxpayer gets right tax from right person, and also the fair tax only, not more than that. Based on the concerns of the taxpayers, the central government is planning to address the issue of high-pitched assessment in the absence of physical interaction between the taxpayer and the assessing officer. There may be high-pitched assessments under the faceless scheme because of unable to explain physically. The taxpayer may lose, as well as the tax authority assessing officer also may be under confusion may not be satisfied with the evidence or information provided by the taxpayer to complete the assessment. Under such a situation, the assessment will be completed with huge additions, that is called high pitch assessments. The Revenue Department has asked the Central Board of Direct Taxes to initiate strict action against the officials where they have slapped notices to taxpayers for underreporting of income without following due procedure and cross-checking of the facts. The assessing officer, before issuing a notice, before proceeding the assessment, the assessing officer has to follow the procedures and cross-checkings before passing the assessment order, and also give an opportunity to the taxpayer, fair opportunity to the taxpayer to submit his clarifications, information, objections to the proposed assessments by the assessing officer. Also, the addition of income and imposition of penalty was being done without following procedure. The assessing officer's assessment as well as levying penalty are another issue. Every assessment and every penalty procedure has to be followed due procedure and reasonable opportunity to the taxpayer to explain and to provide information and to file objections. Purpose behind taking stringent action against the officer who has passed an assessment order, high-pitched assessment order, without following the due procedure required under the assessment as well as levying of penalty. In many cases, notices were issued and exemptions were withdrawn even when the law clearly allowed it. Such situation resulted into high-pitched assessments or converting losses into taxable incomes or reducing the losses. This resulted into loss to the taxpayer. So the government has prescribed due procedure to the assessing officer before completing the assessment order. And there are so many litigations detected glaring error in computation of tax on the part of the officials in multiple cases, which have led to unnecessary litigation. In some cases, the assessing officers has made computation of tax under various sections which are not acceptable to the taxpayer. So that led to such situation, means levying tax at the high rate under various sections led to the dispute and litigation with the taxpayer. Also, it is said that the local committee shall endeavour to dispose of each grievance petition within 2 months. The local committee will be constituted with a group of 3 principal commissioners to look after the grievances raised by the taxpayers against high-pitched assessments, levy a penalty, withdrawing the deductions, or any other addition or resulting into higher income or reduction refund. All this will be looked into by the local level committee, which is when the taxpayer has filed a grievance against the actions of the assessing officer, levy of the penalty. Also, suitable administrative action against the officer concerned in cases where the assessments are found by the local committee to be high pitch, non-application of mind, or gross negligence of assessing officer. The case of high pitch assessments without following the due procedure and without giving right opportunity to the taxpayer, then the local level authority may take action, may recommend action against the assessing officer for not following the due procedure in completing the assessment. The local committees consist of 3 members of principal commissioners of income tax. Also, the local committee would examine either there is a prima facie case of high-pitched assessment, non-observance of principles of natural justice, or gross negligence of assessing officer or assessment unit. The local committee also will look after into the issues raised by the taxpayer as a grievance with regarding high-pitch assessment, non-observance of principles of natural justice, gross negligence of assessing officer, not allowing the taxpayer to file objections, information, or clarification to the proposals made by the assessing officer during the assessment proceedings. These are some of the actions prescribed by the regulations prescribed by the Central Board of Direct Taxes to mitigate the litigation, to reduce the litigation between the taxpayer and the assessing officer who has completed a high-pitched assessment or levied penalty without following due procedure, without not allowing prima facie evidence, not allowing to file cross objections, not considering the information provided by the taxpayer during the assessment proceedings.